Thank you so much for tuning in today to learn how to 10x your income with a new career from your kitchen table. My name is Jennifer Cortes, and I'm here to share with you that if you are watching this video and you are looking for a contactless career that you can literally learn everything that you need to go from knowing nothing to being the top of the industry and having your own agency that you can run from your home, you are in the right place at the right time. So basically, what we do is we help families to prevent financial tragedy before it happens. I'm going to share with you a couple of the major financial tragedies that happen in people's lives and how you can rectify the financial avalanche that'll come after them before it ever happens. So we do that by getting people properly educated, then protected. We use those same policies to help them to become debt-free, inclusive of their credit cards, their mortgages, any negative financial decisions that they ever made in the past, we can reverse and help them to become financially independent. So you might be thinking, like, is there actually a market for that? Like, is this something people want to talk to me about? Guys, I am a stay-at-home mom. I had my space in the corporate world. And one day I decided I didn't want that life anymore. I had my reasons, just like everybody does. But regardless, I was looking for a way that I wouldn't lose my identity. I lost my identity when I left my career to be a mommy from home. I love being a mommy. I love being a homeschooler, but we identify our social status a lot of times by our careers, and a lot of us give that up, right? When we make that shift from working in the corporate world, out of the home to being a stay-at-home mommy. And last year, a lot of you guys didn't have the opportunity to decide if it was right for you. You've got thrown into it. So it's important that you deal in the right market, that there's people that you can speak to and who are going to want your products. So I'm going to let you answer this question after I go over the next couple of slides. Okay. And I'm going to share with you some information that's going to help you to see, if there's a market for what we do and how big is that market. So I want to ask you a very, very important question. If you had right now, no warning, a life or death crisis that required you to stop everything that you're doing, respond immediately, drive to the ATM, put your card in and pull 100% of the money out of your bank account that you have right now, everything you have available to you. Does that money that you're about to access, does it solve a really big problem or a little one? And if you're like most people that I speak with, you're not going to like your answer to this question, because unfortunately, there's a reason that we have things like 911, because accidents happen, emergencies take place, and we do not have time to prepare. Nobody is going to pick up the phone and call you or send you a text message and tell you to get your affairs in order. Well, neither does that happen for anybody else. So do you think that there might be individuals in a situation that may need to have access to emergency funding if a life or death situation showed up? Question number 2, and I ask this to everybody I speak to, all my clients, anybody looking to get into this industry. Let's say life or death didn't happen, but we all know people who are sick, who've been injured, who became diagnosed with something critical, chronic, terminal. We know heart attacks and strokes and cancers. They are being diagnosed every couple of seconds through the day. Somebody is hearing that they have a positive result to these things. Somebody is picking up the phone and calling their children, their grandchildren, sitting down with their spouse, and they're sharing with them that something happened. They didn't get a chance to prepare for it. But the thing is, it's really at this point in our lives, not a matter of if something's going to happen, it's a matter of when, right? So if that happened in your situation, how many years, now mind you, I said years, could you and your family live on the amount of money that's in your bank account today, not taking out loans, not asking friends and family, not starting a GoFundMe account? How many years could you live on the money that you just pulled out of the bank on your ATM card? Most people say that they cannot live years. Most people will tell you they cannot live months, but a mere couple of weeks. So what happens if you break your leg? What happens if you become ill? What happens if you get into a car accident and end up in the hospital? Who pays your bills during that time? Well, these are the solutions that a lot of people don't realize can be solved with the cash value inside of life insurance policies. And so that brings me to a very important topic. And that's the three major financial tragedies that happen in people's lives. These are the scenarios that I'm looking for honest, hardworking, humble moms and dads, men, women, in this industry to get out there and speak to the people in your community, speak to the people in your 6 degrees of separation, and help to prevent the financial tragedy that happens from getting sick, from get just a diagnosis, right? Passing away too soon while they're still paying bills, mortgages, debt, they have debt. And the third one is living too long. So now let me show you kind of a breakdown of each of these scenarios. Getting too sick and passing away too soon usually leaves you in a situation, especially if you have young children, debt, rent, mortgages, bills. This is the early years in your life when you're still trying to pay things down to get to retirement. This is when you need to be in defense mode. Okay. When you're young, when you're under 50 years old, you need to worry about how you take care of your children if you have children, or how you pay bills for yourself, even if it's just you, if you get sick, if you pass away too soon. All right. Now, on the other side of the screen, you see a section says savings. Now, when you're at this stage in your life, this is your later years when you need to be in the offense. This is when you should be out of debt already, when you should be talking about things like good investments and living off of those. This is when you're not paying things down any longer. Now you're trying to have stability for the rest of your years because you're on limited income. We have over 10,000 people a day that are turning 65 years old, and 1 out of every 3 people will tell you that once they hit that age, they have zero retirement. Only half of the people who have money for retirement have $11,000 on average in savings. $11,000 isn't going to take you very far when you're used to living off of 50, 60, 70, $100,000 a year, right? So we need to make sure that we put the proper plans in place so that when you're older and your children are grown, you can live off the income from your savings. You can have your bills taken care of. You're not looking to somebody else to take care of you. Okay. So we have this really big problem right now, and it's catching up with us. And that's that our parents and grandparents, that generation, they were raised off of this theory that if you work your 40 years in your prospective company and you dedicate your life basically to them, half your life, right? And you give them your 40 hours, which we know isn't ever really 40 hours. It's actually more like 50 or 60 hours, especially if you're in a union career, right? And then they're going to turn around and say thank you and make sure that you're taken care of for the rest of your life. But you have to make sure that you have the ability to do it at only 40% of what they were paying you to work there. And so now I want to ask you a really important question. We talked about, is there a market for what we do and how big is that market? I want to ask you a question. How many years have you been working? Write it down on your piece of paper. How many years have you been working? Now, the average age of people who I see joining into this industry is about 35 to 45 years old. Okay. If you are 40 years old, we'll go with the medium number, right? Well, if you're 40 years old and you've been working since you're 14, that's 26 years you've already worked for somebody else and given of your time. So you're close to having 30 years invested with the working world, right? You're just shy of it. How close are you to having 30 years of income saved up for retirement? Because you're almost there. You're literally, if you've been working since you were 16 and you're 40 years old, you're right around the corner from when you should be able to retire, right? And so think about this for a minute. If you retire at 65 years old and you live to 95 years old, that's 30 years of bills, water, food, clothing, fun, entertainment, insurance, medicine, car payments, anything that you do in life, right? It's a long, long, long time. So your answer to these several questions that I've asked you over these last couple of slides, your answers most likely determine for you that you are a good fit for our type of product. And you're probably thinking, how do I fix this problem I didn't know that I had? And so what we do is we make sure that we educate you so that you can turn around and you can educate your clientele, and what our focus is to make sure that we protect a, a, a family, an individual from these financial tragedies. And we do it with these products. First of all, is life insurance. That's your income protection. And this comes in all different forms. There's term policies and whole life policies and IULs, and there's, everything in between. What your job would be is basically to sit down with a client, ask them some questions, and learn about their scenario to find out if we have a solution to their financial problems that either they may know or not know that they actually have. So that part of what I do, I feel, is actually really fun because I know what I'm doing is educating people. And even if they don't become a client, they walk away knowing something a little bit more about their personal situation than they did before we sat down. And that's what it's all about, right? The second thing that we do is we tackle their debt. A lot of people don't know that you can pay your debt off entirely with the cash value inside of some life insurance policies. And so I have this special program that we teach to all of our agents that come on board and work with us, our partners. And it teaches you how to use a special software to plug in somebody's debt and then also plug in like all of their interest rates in addition to their life insurance policy. And it breaks down and amortizes down the interest that they're paying over the years of their loans. And I've actually seen some really amazing things happen where we've helped individuals pay their house off in less than half the time without spending extra money than they were already spending and budgeting for, pay off their credit cards. This money can be used to send your kids to college. It could be used to start a business. It could be used for future things like buying a car, going on vacations. But what a lot of people use it for is to pay their house off, their cars off, their credit cards, and then have that money there growing and compounding to have a retirement later on that isn't necessarily attached to anything except for what they've secured themselves. And with it not being attached to a job and not being attached to a 401k as a vehicle, they're actually in a much better position because one, they won't be penalized if they use it before they're 59 and a half years old. And second of all, when they are of age and ready to retire and roll that money out, it's tax free. And so with 401ks, a lot of people don't realize they're going to be heavily, heavily taxed, right? Money can be used for emergency funds. So your hot water breaks and floods your floor, and you need to replace that, or your air conditioner goes out in your car, or your transmission, or your house, or whatever, or you have to replace the kids' furniture because they're growing, or you want to you know things happen in your house. So you want to make sure that you're not grabbing for credit cards because that puts you into more debt. The retirement piece I already mentioned. We have plans where you can actually, save for retirement tax free, the education I went over, and you just, overall having more cash flow. And so these are the services that we're able to provide to our clients, educate them about, and put them in a vehicle for that. And how we're able to do that is we have to have a license. You have to be licensed in your state and in any other state that you are going to physically write policies in. So if you are already licensed and you're watching this, we would just need to see a copy of your E&O insurance, and we can start your appointing process right away. If you've never been in insurance, this is a life insurance and health license that you would get. In some states, it's life, accident, and health. In other states, it's life, health, and annuities. But nonetheless, it's life and health license that you need. And we actually will help you to, especially in this day and age, which is really great, do the schooling from home from your computer. Only one time do you have to go in person to a local testing center, and that's your state that determines where that's located. Not us, not our company. The school also not associated with my company, but I have options. It's two different online schools you can choose from, and because of how many people we're putting in to those classes, we're able to get a super cheap rate for you. So that's definitely an advantage for you. You take that class online, so you study at your own pace, but you have 30 days to finish it. And then once you get that state license, you're ready to get set up with the carriers. We really hardcore start your training. And from that moment, you actually get to learn the whole business at home, on demand, in live trainings, you name it. But we also give you some really great perks for working with us. And so I want to share those with you right now. Because I definitely think that this really matters. And that's one, you're here to do a job that replaces your career, your 9 to 5. So this is your second career. You're going to do it from home. You need to have high commissions, right? So that you can make a week's salary off of a part-time basis. And when I say that, it's not cliche. Literally, our agents on average are making $12 to $1,400 a week off of one sale, helping one client. They're making around $6,000 a month, just helping 1 to 2 clients a week. So you don't have to overperform to get paid really well. We do have a lead program. We also have company retreats on demand and live training. We have live training 5 days a week, which is wonderful. You have the chance to earn yourself a car and a mortgage allowance. And my favorite thing that we have here is that you get a brandable website. So you get to choose your niche, decide, how you want that to be presented, make it happen on the website that you're supplied by the company. You get to choose your colors and your text, and you can add a blog and all kinds of really great things. And also you get equity ownership. There is no other opportunity out there that I know of that you can get a free website, free training, social media training, one of the best marketers in the industry that actually teaches you to create images, brand yourself, how to use your website, how to use social media to get clientele. And you get to earn equity points for everything that you do, whether it's hiring somebody to work in the company or, writing business and protecting families. You're going to earn equity ownership and then be able to turn around and cash that out in the next 3 to 5 years, which is huge. So that said, I just wanted to give you a quick overview. If you're ready to get set up, please go to my website, goodbudgetsense.com. Under the menu, click on apply, and you can go ahead and do the application to get started today. If you would like more information, I have a 45-minute video that you can watch that'll literally break down our all of our products, all of our programs. It'll show you the on-demand training website. It'll go over exactly all the commissions at the different levels so you can see. We even talk about the carriers that we're working with, and you could just get, a finer look at what we do. And if you would like to meet one-on-one, if you go to the goodbudgetsense.com website, go ahead and click on the menu and click schedule a call. And I will definitely meet with you one-on-one. We could do it over the phone or on Zoom. It's up to you. If you would like to text me, my number's on the screen, 561-900-8082. And I look forward to working with you to help you create the life you desire so that you can finally live the life you deserve. Thank you so much for watching, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.